Thanks for taking a couple of minutes out of your day to watch what I believe will be an informative, brief presentation looking at hybrid or linked benefit long-term care insurance, specifically the topic of cash versus reimbursement. My name is Jesse Sloan. I'm director of the American Association for Long-Term Care Insurance. For just over 25 years, we've been here advocating for the importance of long-term care planning and supporting insurance professionals who market the various types of products that are out there. If you get value from watching this video, I'd be most grateful if you'd click on the like button. That tells other consumers that it's something they should consider watching. So there are basically two ways that insurance companies pay benefits from linked benefit or hybrid long-term care products. The first model is what's called reimbursement, exactly what it sounds like. The second is generically called indemnity. I like to call it a cash model, as you'll see as we go into a little bit of a description. So what are a couple of key differences? And I'm only going to highlight very key differences. Well, with reimbursement, someone has to submit bills. Now, it's typically the provider. It's typically not the policyholder, because they recognize, the insurance companies recognize when someone needs care, they're probably not in a position to start sending bills and submitting them in a timely manner. But it could be the policyholder or their family members. So with indemnity, once the policy meets or the policyholder meets the qualifications, then the check or the payment arrives. There really is no ongoing paperwork or follow-up. That's one key benefit that you should consider. The second is that an indemnity policy could result in more cash. Now, this gets a little bit complex, so I'm going to try and make it very simple. Reimbursement pays based on what actual costs were incurred. So if you bought a policy where the policy maximum was $8,000 a month when suddenly you're 85, 90 and needing care, let's say your actual costs amounted to only $4,000 a month. Well, then the policy, after the bills were submitted, would reimburse for $4,000. The other $4,000 is not lost. It stays within the policy, but it assumes that that you live a longer period of time and need claims for a longer period of time in order to access that. With an indemnity policy, indemnity pays cash. So in a month where your actual costs were $4,000, that policy is going to pay you $8,000. You can literally put the extra money in the bank. Some people like to call it stackable, so that next month, let's say your costs are $12,000. Well, you already have the $8,000 from your policy. The $4,000 that you put into the bank, it's yours to use in whatever way you want. Cash is typically king, as they like to say. Choice. Now, every policy defines what they're going to cover, how they're going to cover in the policy language. And that's why in many of our videos, we highly recommend that you require and get a specimen policy from the financial advisor or agent that's talking to you about this coverage. But in general, reimbursement policies typically won't pay for a family member or a neighbor who's providing care, even if they're the best caregiver. They typically will define who's eligible to, for the policy to reimburse. And often, most people need this for care in their own home. Often, they're going to limit it to care provided by a licensed agency only. That's a real consideration if you indeed have family members that might want to be available to provide you with care. So, in a nutshell, if you're considering a hybrid long-term care insurance policy, it really pays to work with an independent specialist who can educate you and compare the different policies. Basically, it's not just cost and benefits, it's understanding what happens come claim time. And if you want, call the American Association for Long-Term Care Insurance at 597-3227. We'd be more than happy to have one specialist, just one, reach out, connect with you, no cost, no obligation. They are there to educate you, give you the comparisons, and then help you make whatever decision you want to do. Again, if you got value from watching this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps us in our cause to educate more people. And you can always visit our website. The shortcut is www.aaltci.org/linked. Thanks for taking the time to watch this.